Okay. I mean, I see it on here, but do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Black Panther decoded by Noonanboos.
All right. Let me send this around.
That's your background with them dogs?
Mm-hmm. All right, just letting it be known on my original channel that we about to go live on noon question and answering, and we finna get into this Black Panther decoded by Noonanboos. So I'm just letting it be known. So give me one moment so everybody can know to come over to this channel. See if it be here. That we about to go live. Okay, I got it. All right, I'm trying to see if we got anybody looking at home.
You can't go live on your old page, right?
Hold on. We ain't gonna. We're gonna do it on this one.
All right.
I'm just letting it be known though. All right. So people start coming in after it get started. All right. So what we gonna do here, like we said, is this is Black Panther decoded by Noonanboos. For myself, Tarkino Nupu, and the Ken, who is actually one that said he wanted to do this because I had seen the movie once, and I was like, man, it was just too many people talking about it. But the Ken was like, man, we need to do a movie review on it because everybody that's talking about it is definitely not saying or seeing what the movie really is portraying. And so that's where we at. I also, when I thought about it, And I looked at it, I said, okay, this is what we're gonna have to do then. I said I was on board. It just took me a couple of days because of the working around my schedule to do what I had to do. And so we ready. Ken, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then you can run right on into your analysis of it, and then I'll do my part. You know, we're gonna go back and forth, but go ahead and introduce yourself and let the people know what's going on.
All right. Peace, everybody. As you guys already know or are going to know, my name is Anut Bonu Nupu. That basically represents the bone marrow in the body, and also the bone marrow in the African race. Now I wanted to do this particular Black Panther segment because a lot of people were seemingly very, very proud about this particular Black Panther movie because it was a black superhero that that was being portrayed on the TV screen, and they act like, you know, I guess because we had an all black cast, we had a black leading actor and a black villain, that, you know, this movie was for black people. And because they added in and mixed in that, you know, a little Africa here and there and sprinkled in a bunch of other things in there to make us feel like we should be proud about this Black Panther movie. The first thing we got to really adhere to and understand is that this is not a black movie. And the reason being, I hear echo.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the reason being that this is not a black movie is because, number one, we don't own it. If you don't own something, or you can't claim ownership to something, then guess what? It's not yours. It's for the benefit of another individual or a race of individuals that own it. Like, for instance, let's say you're living in a house and you don't own the house, you rent the house, and you're a black man renting it from a Jewish person by origin. Then guess what? Or rather, not Jewish, a Caucasian by origin. If you're renting it from somebody that's Caucasian by origin, guess what? You're paying rent to somebody that owns it. You just live there. The same way with the Black Panther movie, we just acting in a movie that's Caucasian owned. So because we got an all black cast, a black director, a black, you know, it could be all black everything, but the only thing is that we don't own the rights to the movie. So if they wanted to pull the movie off the shelves, they can do it. No matter how many black people say, oh, that's a black movie, you can't take it off the shelves. Oh, yes, they could, because Marvel is owned by the Caucasian race, Marvel and Disney. So it's very, you know, it's very disheartening, you know, for our people, especially people in our race, to watch us, you know, scramble over the fact that this is a black movie. It's definitely not a black movie. Now, the next aspect of things is for us to understand that the forces that are being played in the movie, a lot of people don't understand the life and the times that we're living in right now. And the life and the times that we're living in right now is the animal zone. So everything will be reflected as an animal, or a distinction of an animal and animal nature. And this is in noon science, this is called the zoop. And we're in the worst part of the zoop right now, where conditions are the worst. We're in the hellish part, when we call this particular aspect of nature 3 South. And 3 South is basically ghost ether, and ghost ether is basically the worst form of ether that we can can get right now. But just to go back to the movie real quick, I want to show you guys something in the meta nature. As far as the name, just the name Wakanda. Let's number one, I've seen the Wapians say that that Wakanda really means Nawapu. This is totally false. Number one, because Wakanda does not mean, hold on, let me open, I gotta open up a new screen. I'm gonna go to Google.
Yeah, and let me add on too, while you looking for that, is that Nawapian assassin saying that Wakanda is related to Nawapu by way of animism, which animism is dealing with nature and stuff like that. So that's still false as well, because something that's fictitious can't have any relation to nothing that's actual reality. But that's what they're really trying to say. Some other Nawapians are saying that Wakanda, because it came out in the 60s, that it has something to do with Nawapu, like you said. But go ahead, Ken.
No, you can keep going, but I want people to see what the definition of the Wakanda is by these creators. I'm all right. I'm gonna share my screen as I'm looking for it, so that people can see that I'm just gonna be scrolling around looking for it. Screen share. Give me 1 sec. All right. Can you see my screen share?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go now. Wakanda. Let's go to Wikipedia. All right. Wakanda comics.
It's
Let's
not
go.
showing.
Oh, it's not showing? It's not in Wikipedia?
No, I don't see. I just see your I don't see your. You had it up there, but it's not showing now.
Oh. Is it back up here now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is it still showing?
It's like if I talk, the screen switched to me, so that's why I got to mute. It was showing, but then it wasn't. It stopped.
All right. Oh. Let me just see if I could get just a still page so it could come up. Give me a second. I'm gonna back out of this. Wakanda. Let me see. Yeah, so you saying that Nawapian assassin was saying that this meant
It was trying to connect, animism, because they keep coming up with all these different terms, and they try to, like I told you, like a chameleon, not even a chameleon, like that so-called Alien in The Thing, the first movie they put out, where if it gets a part of something, it just imitates it. And that's what they're doing. They grab a little bit of anything and morph it. And because a lot of people are just not hip to it, they try to clean everything. And that's not what Nwapu is when you're dealing with reality and reason, and to try to jump on something because they want, again, that just shows that our people want to belong and experience something, and they want Caucasian justification. And they should know by now that anything that they do is not for our benefit. And the fact that I heard people going to the movie 3-4 times is just as ignorant. Because, like, again, even though I was cracking a joke with my wife, I was telling her, you didn't see this type of support for Malcolm X and Birth of a Nation, movies that actually took place. They even, some of the actors, in Malcolm X, they had to drop their pay, and I think Spike Lee had to chop some of the movie off because I think the movie was like 2 hours long. It's supposed to be like 3 or so, and they were saying how other movies that ran for longer than that, 3-4 hours long, Caucasian movies, they had to fund it, and they didn't say the movie was too long. So we got many movies that we didn't support. As far as the message, that just showing you that we still under the spell, that we spent $1 billion in a couple of weeks, and then had the nerve to ask Marvel to donate that to some black cause, and they gave it to like you said, the
Boys and Girls Club of America,
Girl Scouts of America. So that was a slap in the face, and it will show how ignorant we are. You already got the money. You should have just donated to a black cause yourself. Why go spend it somewhere else and then tell them that's where you want the money to go some kind of way? Some people even dumb enough talking about reparations like Marvel Comics is the government. Like, come on, they putting out something so they can make their money back over. And we just fell for it again. Just ignorant as all our those. You still can't get the screen to show?
Not the screen. I'm trying to get the definition of Wakanda.
In the translator?
No, not the translator. I got that. I already got that screenshotted. But the what you call it? The definition of Wakanda, according to you know, all these other sites. I want to know. I want to see what, because we had the definition just the other day. Definition meant the Great Spirit, so I wanted people to see that.
Where you got it from?
All I did was Google the name and it came up, but it got to be around here somewhere. I guess because I'm reading too fast. Let me see.
What's it in Wikipedia? How you find it? Because I'm looking too.
It's probably in Wikipedia somewhere, but let me see something.
And it's so retarded when you just look up the stuff with Wakanda, they still keep etymology, location, history. It shouldn't be none of that if it's fake.
What does the word Wakanda mean? That should pop up.
It's crazy. Before the emergence of Wakanda nation, mystic beings known as originators were expelled from the region by the Orishas, the pantheon of Wakanda composed by Thoth, Ta, Mujai, Kokau, and Basset, the Panther goddess. They just mix up all kind of crap.
But the word Wakanda means the Great Spirit. That's what I know. But we just have to find that particular definition. Okay. I think it's right here.
I found something Wakanda, the Great Spirit, Wakanta, native.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you
might have to screen share yours.
All right, let me do that then real quick so we can move along.
Yeah, we could get this.
Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah. So, just for everybody to see, according to this language, it's saying that Wakanda means the Great Spirit. All right. So Now, what I'm going to show you in relation to that, number one, let's just kill the fact that this doesn't mean Nawapu or what you call it. It doesn't mean Nawapu, nor does it mean sound right reason, because that's what Nawapu means. By definition, Nawapu means sound right reason. So there's no way that sound right reason can mean the great spirit, because sound right reason is intelligence. It's not a spirit at all. So these Nawapians are very misinformed. All right. Now I'm gonna show you guys something interesting. This particular definition, the great spirit. Now we're going to go to my screen. Let me go to my photos.
You want me to click off?
Yeah, you could click off now. All right, let's go to desktop. Start screen sharing. Can you see my photos?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to try to expand it. Let me know if you can still see it. Can you see the expanded one?
It's crazy. When I talk, it goes off. But I seen you make it bigger. Just put it back. Let me see.
Oh. But I'm still sharing my screen, so I don't know why I would be doing that. You see it?
Yeah, it's just like, remember I told you, whenever somebody talks, it's gonna disappear. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll just let you know through your WhatsApp, yes or no, so you'll know that I can hear. Because when I talk, it's gonna keep doing that. Just you got your phone by you?
Yeah, I got my phone. All right, so just let's look right now. Do you see my screen? All right, so if we looking now, we can see that this is the first part of the word. Now we're gonna break down the word Wakanda. All right, so that people can see the definition of the word Wakanda in hieroglyphs, or basically the Metanetia. All right, because like they said, this particular language comes from Africa. All right, and it's supposed to be the Kosha language, the XHOSA language. So we're going to take it back to where all these languages derive from. We have Wa right here, meaning one. Wa means one. Ka means spirit. And Da means parched with thirst. So the word Wakanda means in that particular language was the great spirit. But as we can see in the Metanetia, it means one spirit that's parched with thirst. Means that this particular spirit is a thirsty spirit. But thirsty for what? That should be the very thing that we should be questioning. So before we get to the end of this, we're gonna figure out exactly what this spirit is thirsting for. You understand what I'm saying? Because by definition, the word means the great spirit, and as we can see in the Metanetia translator, Wa Kan Da. spelled exactly the same way. WAKANDA. So that the listening audience can see that. Wakanda. All right. So before the end of this whole broadcast is done, we're gonna reveal what what spirit is that's parched for thirst. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have to understand that these movies, even though they are fictional movies, they do have an undertone of symbolism inside of them. And this is what we're doing as metaphysicians, is breaking these things down. And this is what metaphysics is about. It's about seeing the inner meanings of things. And one of the inner meanings of the word Wakanda is definitely not Nawapu, because Nawapu means sound, right, reason. If we can go to the books, and that the books will tell us that. Matter of fact, let's do that. I'm gonna end my screen share and I'm gonna go to the books, and we're gonna, if you want to talk about something real quick while I go to the books and just verify with the people what Nawapu means.
Yeah, that was a good intro breakdown, because that's one of, like we said on the last Black Panther video that Queeple did, that it ain't even pseudoscience, it's pseudo foolishness, and it has no base in reality, and they need to stop running around talking about Nawap and Wunawap is dealing with evidence, experience, and reason. And number one, there's no evidence that Wakanda even exists, so you can't even add anything, factual to these things. And I've seen a couple of Nawapians doing videos on this mess, and it don't make no sense. Either one from talking about Tamaray was called Nawapia, which York never said that, and they created that mess after the land was gone, and start, just the suffixes that they putting on these end of these words, it's too much. Nawapia is just too much, man. They just need to really stop trying to be all things, because they're not. And the word Nawapu, like you said, it breaks down what it means in the Bible interpretation. And that's all you got to do is stick with that. Like I keep telling them all the time, they keep saying they Nawapians, but the word itself means all knowledge, all wisdom, all understanding. These are attributes of intelligence that a person can have that and utilize it, but a person cannot be all knowledge, all wisdom, and all understanding. You can't be both. You can't be that and a human being. We utilize those mental functions, but that's where they get lost at, and they go into this sci-fi zone that makes no sense. And they, again, only amongst the people who are mentally unstable, it makes sense around. Like cult members, anybody that's in the cult, whatever the cult thinks about and talks about, it's real to the cult members. But when you try to apply that same mental delusion outside of it, that's when you run into problems, because everybody doesn't subscribe to that type of foolishness. And it's definitely proven that our people are under the spell with this, which we're going to show and prove that, about when we're done with this, they all should just go slap themselves for that. But go ahead. I see you got the pit. You found it. I'm stepping off.
Yeah. So right here, we can see. Hold on. Let me just move my screen over to the side real quick. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm trying to get okay. Yeah, so right here we can see letter S. What is Nawapu? Nawapu is pronounced Nuwapu. The meaning of the word Nawapu is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Nawapu is all knowledge, all wisdom, all understanding, finite and infinite. Nuwapu is the science of sciences and the science in sciences. Nuwapu is a spiritual science that existed before the great flood of Noah, 17,250,000 years ago. And this is therefore the science of the original creative forces and the original spiritual science of the African pygmies and Ethiopians in general. Nuwapu is the science in which and with which the universe was grown. Nuwapu existed for a long time after the flood, but finally gave way to pantheism in accordance with the time cycle laws of nature, just as in accord with the time cycles of nature. Pantheism eventually gave way to religion as we know it today. Now is the time for Nuwapu again. All right. The standard knowledge of Nuwapu is right knowledge. Right knowledge is that knowledge that agrees with nature, and its way of right knowledge is facts without fallacy. Facts are identified by proof, logic, reason, because facts are always logical and they reason out. When all necessary and major questions about the Bible have been asked by, answered for, and known to, and understood by the so-called Negro, he and she will then be qualified for his and her own spiritual science, which is Nuwapu. Nuwapu is a spiritual heritage of Ethiopians in general, and it helps all oppressed peoples. All right. So just by definition, we can see that Nuwapu does not mean the Great Spirit at all. The word Nuwapu means the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding, period. So we could put that to rest right now about Nuwapu meaning Wakanda. This is what I wanted to touch on. Now, let's go back to Wakanda and the Great Spirit. We could go back to that right now, and we shall see that we should see that I got to get more fluid with this, because this is good stuff. You know what I'm saying? We see that Nuwapu, that Wakanda actually means the spirit that's parched with thirst. So as I showed you guys earlier, I can't pull it up again. I don't know why, but it's not coming up again. I got the screen open for it though. Let's try to pull it up again. We'll just leave it like that. All right. So
you need help?
Nah, I'm good. So no, I just want to show them, you know, they can just, you know, easily scroll back and see that, you know, Wakanda in the meta nature represents one spirit parched with thirst. So, and it lines up perfectly with the definition that was given, which means the Great Spirit. So this particular Wakanda is not just a place in which they're saying, it's also a spirit as well. So this particular place that people go to is a spirit that is basically parched with thirst. So before the end of this, we're gonna find out what spirit is parched with thirst. All right. So I don't know what you know, if you want to lead into something else after this, but I wanted to give that particular introduction as far as what Wakanda is. So you could go ahead and you know and put, you know, whatever it is you want to put on that real quick while I get my second aspect ready.
Let's see here. Let's see here. First, I must drink the purple juice to get the power of the Black Panther. I don't want to go too deep, but let's see here. What we can do, though, is go into the Panther's name and origin and things like that, because we have to always take the word and look at it before we do those type of things. So let me go to that. All right. Let me know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here you have Panther, early 13th century from Old French Panther, 12th century from Latin Panthera, from Greek Panther. And you have Panther, leopard, probably of Oriental origin. Folk, etymology, derivation from Greek pan, meaning all, and third beast, led to many curious fables. So it's interesting that you know, they say a leopard, and we know a leopard has spots on it. So that should add a little something else into it as well. So they can equal stand that. All right, I'm gonna go to the next
one. It ties into, you know, the zoop, as I was saying earlier. Panther means all beasts, which is also the zoop, which is the bottom half of the smat circular order.
Exactly. That's a great pointing out you just did as well. And I'm just going to show it again so they can see that in a different way so I can take it to the next level. All right. Can you see it?
Yep.
So here you see it says a leopard, such as a leopard of a hypothetical, exceptionally large, fierce variety. And it's a leopard of the black color phase. Cougar, Florida panther, jaguar. So all of these different types of felines are considered panthers. So they need to look at that as well. But let's go into the next stage, because just let me know when you're ready, because I don't want to.
No, go ahead.
All right. Let's just go into the definition of a leopard. All right. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. It says leopard. For other uses, see leopard, leopardi, the leopard. Panthera pardus, also known as pard, is one of the 5 species in the genus Panthera, a member of the Felidae. The leopard occurs in a wide range in sub-Saharan Africa and parts of Asia and is listed as vulnerable as the IUCN Red List because leopard populations are threatened by habitat loss and fragmentation and are declining in large parts of the global range in Hong Kong, Singapore, Kuwait, Syria, Libya, Tunisia, and most likely in Morocco. Leopard populations have already been extirpated. Contemporary records suggest that the leopard occurs in only 25% of its historical global range. Leopards are hunted illegally, and their body parts, and we know that their body parts are used for different things, especially their skin is used for clothing and things like that. So this is a almost an extinct animal because of what human beings or poachers are doing, taking these animals and using them for different things. So now we have an array of things, and now we know that panther covers more than just the black, and also you can find this animal as well in the book of Revelation as one of the beasts that came out of the waters, which, you know, me and the Ken are going to break down that stuff too at another date. But just showing that this animal is not only just used in different other places, it's also a religious figure that's used as symbolic of other things that's going on. So now we got the basics of what a leopard is, and it's not just that particular color that they are showing people. And it's to get, and again, just because, you know, we certain trigger words exist. When you say Black Panther, you heard people talking about the Black Panthers in America and the different things that they was doing about that before I move forward, because I really wanted you to lay the premise of what you're doing, and then I was going to come through with the curveball that I wanted to throw in there, because all of the people I've been listening to, they did not touch on it in the way that we are touching on it.
Mm-hmm.
You ready yet?
No, what I was going to get into next was the characteristics of the Panther, like you just did just now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let us know the name of the Panther and things of that nature. So if you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm good. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm gonna come in after that when you get through with the characteristics, and then we can start going into the next thing I'm gonna bring in when you get through talking about the characteristic of the Panther.
All right, you see it? You see it? Number one, let's say a panther is a jaguar or leopard. All right, cool. So this right here, I'm not gonna go through a lot of it. I'm only gonna stop at number 7 because it's very interesting to note what this particular characteristic about the panther or the leopard. All right, here's one. A panther is actually a jaguar or leopard. It says a panther's black skin is genetic. As the case in us, what you call it, as us Africans, our skin is genetic. Panthers are native to 3 different continents, which is mainly in Central and South America, North America, Asia, Africa. So in the Americas, Asia, and Africa. Panther is a stealthy hunter, which means that it's a nocturnal animal, and we basically live in the bottom half of the SMAT circle of order. So this is hold on for a second. All right. So as we can see right here, it's a nocturnal creature, and it basically hunts at night. So can Black people really represent a Black Panther just by some of these characteristics? Look at this characteristic: hunting at night, you know, stealthy, represent all beasts. The word panther represents all beasts. Remember in the start, I told you guys that even though it was an all Black cast, it wasn't a Black movie at all. But we're gonna get into all of that. So number 5, they're incredibly strong and quick. You guys can see that. Now, this is the part I said number 7, but number 6 is what I really wanted to get into. There are some intriguing panther facts relating to their behavior. The panther is a very solitary animal and usually lives, hunts, and travels alone. The one exception to this rule is during mating season. When she is ready to mate, the female panther will leave scent markings for the male to follow, and also makes a sawing sound to let him know where she is. After they have mated, the pair will rarely stay together for more than a few days. The age of sexual maturity for the female panther is usually around 2 years, and she will have her first litter at around 2.5 years old. The male panther is capable of mating at the age of 2, but because of fierce competition from older males, does not usually have the opportunity until he is 3 or 4 years old. It is common for fights to break out among male panthers during mating season. This is what I wanted to get into. The panther is a very solitary animal that usually lives, hunts, and travels alone. Black people, for the longest that we've been in Africa, know very well that we did everything as a tribe. We always did things as a duality, and we always did things as one nation. So this particular animal, the panther, cannot be a representation of what Black people are supposed to be doing. Because right here it tells you it's a what? It's a solitary animal. And even after mating, what do they do? The pair will rarely stay together for more than a few days. So after they mate, the panther dips off. That's basically like what's going on in America. You understand what I'm saying? So we're actually perpetuating energy, right? That's not our nature. And we need to understand what we're doing. We're taking on these animal natures and not understanding the meaning behind it. And this ties in to what you call it, the type of activities that's taking place in this day and time. Even this is an animal mentality, it relates to us, basically how we react in these days and ages. What do we do as most of us do as a race? Right now we come together to mate, then what? We leave the our partner and go about our business. Same thing with a lot of these deadbeat dads. So Black Panthers are deadbeat parents because they leave their mate to have these children and go about their business because they're solitary animals and they only come together when it's time to have sex. And on top of that, they fight for sex. Look at this. The male panther is capable of mating at the age of 2, but because of fierce competition, this is italicized because this is a battle that takes place. As in the Black Panther movie, what took place when one wanted to become king? They had to have a battle to the death. Look at what's taking place. Fierce competition. And this was usually amongst the young and the old. All right. So we can see the thirst already taking place. You know, we're talking about a spirit that's parched for thirst. Number one, their thirst for sex, because we can see right here that it's telling you that the only time they come together is for mating season. Because if you're a solitary animal and you're only coming together for mating season, that means you have a thirst for sex. You understand what I'm saying? And she's leaving the scent for the male to follow. You understand what I'm saying? Then they make a sawing sound. All right. So I wanted to get that. We could jump to other things as well, but this number 6 right here is a very powerful behavior that we need to focus on when it comes to the panther. All right. Panthers are pregnant for 3 months. This is not the traditional 9 months. This is The tradition, this for a panther is 3 months. We're gonna deal with the letter with the number 3 right there. 3 is a very powerful number in this day and time because it represents the ghost. Panthers are becoming extremely rare now. Apparently, Lorenz Oken was the first to describe the panther species. That we know that's a lie because our people have been studying panthers ever since we were in Africa. But you know, the Caucasian has to take credit for finding these panthers. But we know that panthers existed in Africa because the Sphinx. The Sphinx is actually a panther head. That's a feline's head that's on the Sphinx. All right. And we're going to get into that a little bit tonight as well. A panther markings are visible through its black coat. Mystery surrounds the North American black panther. While there are many interesting facts, these animals also inquire a large amount of speculation. In North America, for example, there have been many sightings of black cats through the ages, which believers claim are melanistic cougars. However, no black cougar or mountain lion has ever been photographed, shot, or bred in North America, and experts generally agree that it does not exist. Any such reports are attributed to mistaken identity or mistakes about the size of the creature. This makes the North American black panther a cryptid. That is, the animal whose existence is not proven, or an animal known to exist but alleged to be in an unexpected place. I want to also note that the Black Panther or the Panther is also called the ghost of the forest. All these ghost definitions, all these attributes are not the attributes of African people. The Black Panther is also known as the ghost of the forest. We're gonna get into some more stuff. There have been big black cat sightings in unlikely places. We can go to, all right, panthers are excellent swimmers. Now, why is this important that a panther is an excellent swimmer? Because of where we are in this particular day and age, we're dealing with forces called Leviathan. And Leviathan is a strong water force. It's a strong sexual energy, but it's also dealing with water. And it would be incumbent that the panther be able to swim, because guess what? A lot of other cats are not able to swim. But the Black Panther, these large cats are not able to swim, but the Black Panther is a very good swimmer. If you look up the attributes of many other large cats, they're not able to swim, but the panther is. In ancient mythology, the panther was multicolored. Glasgow Zoo had a cobweb panther. There are panthers in baseball, football. All right, we know this. These are the names that they use for these particular teams. Carolina Panthers, Florida Panthers. The Florida Panther is not a real panther. All right. The panther is a very amazing animal, but it's not the nature of the African race. All right. So I'm done with this particular segment. That's going to be leading into what this particular spirit is. You're getting some great attributes of this spirit. this Panther spirit. All right. So if you want to take it over now, Tanoon, that'll be good. And we're gonna get to the other things. So I'm gonna end my screen sharing.
Yeah, I seen one of the definitions for the Panther was a cougar, and since we know that they using the Panther as a sex force, which we know is Leviathan, they also call older women that like younger boys cougars.
That's right.
They call them the older women that definitely enjoys being with young guys cougars. So that's also showing you that that's a predatorial as well as a pedophile type of spirit as well, because you have that going on in the news media a lot now. A lot of female teachers are going crazy with these students. They Amadi and them at Six Dynasty just put up a show a couple of days ago where this teacher got busted having an orgy with the students, and she gave them STDs on top of that. And so that sex force is kicking up rather quickly. And like you said, that was a good thing to show that everybody running around with the spirit of the Panther and not really understanding that. And there's also, again, these are different names. They got all kind of names for women's private areas, and a cat is one of them. The pink panther, the pink pussy, all this old stuff that they use for the vagina is synonymous with the cat as well as the rabbit and things like that. So what they're not realizing is that it's all sexual, and the people who they're trying to at the same time claiming is the most sexual is the people who go to the movies the most. And we just couldn't get enough of that because a lot of people are not realizing, and I want to be clear that in this case, lust played a lot into this movie. Now, we know that lust means to be attracted to, so it doesn't necessarily mean that everything was sexual as far as what people may have been getting out of it. But we're just trying to explain to you that to be attracted to something, it takes a form of lust. So if you look at it, everybody had their own attraction in their own kind of way. Like you said, they're affirming the energy that's coming forth from this animalistic type of movie that is like you can't get enough of it, but you get none out of it at the same time. And they keep going back and going back, and that plays into the thirst, because most people can watch a movie one or two times and I'm good. But if I keep going back, I'm thirsty.
That's right.
It's like, why I keep going back? And we all seen this all around. Like, people say, I'm going to see the movie again. This is my second time, this is my third time. This is my fourth time. It's like, and people don't see what is actually taking place. They don't see it. And that what is being done to them by way of entertainment. And we know that sex, violence, and entertainment all go together. So that's another thing they need to look at. And I wanted to go a little further, but I'm just trying to, give you a little chance to do what you're going to do. Let's, before I go into that, we can talk about the characters. What did you get out of T'Challa? Let's talk about T'Challa. Matter of fact, yeah, let's talk about T'Challa, since he came in after his father was murdered in the movie before that. I think it was what, Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you get out of the character of T'Challa?
So for me personally, T'Challa it lined up perfectly with the Jesus story. Number one, because remember, Jesus's father was a Roman what's it called? A triumvirate?
Yeah, triumvirate.
Yeah, so he was a war general, or basically somebody that was supposed to be next in line, just like his just like what you call it, Cleopatra and Esau. So I felt like they, you know, they laced the movie in such a religious way that people would be tied in, just to see if people would be still on the religious tip. And I saw people who gave up religion. I'm talking about they claim they gave it up. Yeah, I ain't on the religious tip. Yeah, Christians is this, that, and the third. Yeah, I would never do Islam, but they hooked on this movie. They loving it. They eating it up, which means to tell me that we still have religious residue in our spirits. We still have religious residue in our spirits, because they laced this movie so religious that it was just ridiculous how they made him to be a religious figure, as if he was Jesus Christ. You understand what I'm saying? That from him, you know, claiming the throne, to the point of, you know, him coming back from the dead. All these various things that were taking place was in reference to Jesus and the Jesus story. Now, how do you feel about what it is that you saw about T'Challa?
A lot of people pretty much said the same thing, you know, and even the actor himself said about the character, that the character he played, T'Challa, was actually the villain. And that was an interesting perspective, because everybody's seen him as basically, it was like the Cain and Abel too, because T'Challa was the good son and Killmonger was the bad one. Mm-hmm. And you had, you know, Abel being chosen, and Killmonger was like the outcast, except it was like in reverse a little bit. Where, you know, in the Bible it said, you know, Cain, you know, did wrong, then got kicked out. But in this case, it was a little different, because Cain was already outside the garden of Wakanda, just to put a religious context to it, and that they wished to return back to Wakanda, like Adam and Eve when they got kicked out according to the Bible, and they wanted to return back, but Correct. they couldn't go back because the angels blocked them from getting in there. So the movie, it doesn't really say, because that's the part of the movie we didn't know about. According to what we seen, the Killmonger father was a spy. But when Killmonger, you know, becomes the new Black Panther, which is gold and black, and he goes into the spirit world and they play that part back, he tells him when he was younger that, you know, how beautiful Wakanda is, and he want to take him back, but he fear that he won't be allowed. So it doesn't say why the cousins or T'Challa's uncle was made. They made it appear like he couldn't go back home.
Well, apparently, from what I was seeing, apparently he got caught in the life. Remember, they said that he found some girl and he fell for the girl, and that's what made him get stuck where he was at. Because remember, he hid the guns, he hid the drugs, all that stuff before T'Challa's father came. But the uncle was a spy too, but he didn't know he was being spied upon.
Right.
You know, so he got caught up with the American lifestyle and American, I guess you would want to say, women.
Right. They just didn't point that out. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, jumping back and forth, but that's what I got out of that, was definitely a Cain and Abel reference. Mm-hmm. And the way the Bible works, all of the some of the greater stories where the brothers, or in this case cousins, it's always seemed that the so-called one that don't deserve it gets it. And you can see that in this story with Adonijah and Solomon, Esau and Jacob. It's the same old thing, you know, and that's pretty much what I got from T'Challa's character as well.
Mhm.
And like I said, when he made that statement when he did an interview, it just only clarified even more so. And it's showing you that. And the thing is crazy because the movie is not that old. And he immediately came out, you know, maybe like last week, I think he said that in an interview. So that's very interesting that people still running around screaming T'Challa. And he even said it himself that that because he didn't go through what Killmonger went through, he was not looked upon, you know, he don't think that T'Challa was worthy to been in the leadership. What you got? What you want to add something else to that?
Well, you know, that's true. Now it makes me now question, you know, where people's mindsets are at when they looking at these movies. Are they looking at it from an objective stance, or are they looking at it from a stance of entertainment? Because when you go to the Bible, you don't think of it as entertainment. For them, they look at it as entertainment. You understand what I'm saying? They now have turned religion into entertainment, into captivative entertainment in which they're making the most money off of, because they keep regurgitating over and over, and we keep falling for it. We keep falling for it over and over and over and over. Lion King was the same thing. It was a movie about religion. All these movies are about religion, you know. So we just got to be careful with what we are doing as far as what's being displayed to us, especially our children, because now people got their kids throwing up the X. That's another thing too. The X is a cross. Everybody got this cross that they make this symbol across their chest.
Yeah, that and some of the pharaohs had their arms crossed, holding unks and stuff in a certain kind of stance as well. They just didn't add that into it. So that's also, and when you stand like most of them is, you know, the state of death, you know, a sarcophagus and all these different things.
That's
like
the
that.
only time that the pharaohs did that was when they laid to rest.
Dead.
So we dead. We literally putting up the X saying we dead.
And X stand for unknown, and it also stand for in some cases the female. He's walking around here looking crazy. And that's what the nine-ball did.
Female army too.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. Which is wrong.
But that's what he wants, though. He pretty much had a bunch of females, and one of them was supposed to be a lesbian, but they cut it out before they put the film out, and a lot of people from the LGBT community was upset at that. So they didn't want to give them all the whole dose. And a lot of them was so. Only thing I wasn't surprised, but it was funny to see that nobody complained about all the black women being bald headed. They went from, in reality, you wearing fake hair, into the next non-reality movie wearing no hair. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it was a movie of twists and turns, man. But yeah, that, you know, the religious aspect is powerful. And it shows that our people are still stuck in that phase and we can't get out of it, you know. And the Caucasian, basically all he does is toy with it, because now we on autopilot. We literally on ghost autopilot right now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So any little thing that they, you know, when they'll know we've been awoke or waking up, they'll know that when we stop supporting them financially.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the numbers is up to 1.1 billion now worldwide.
Yeah, that's
a little over a month.
Yeah, that's the collection plate, because that's mostly what moves us is some form of religious power. Let's move to Killmonger.
Mm-hmm.
What did you get out of Killmonger?
Killmonger represented revolution.
Mm-hmm.
In my particular eyes, he represented what needed to be done. And the truth is, he won the position fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
He won the position fair and square. He got to Wakanda, and he said, "Yo, I'm here to fight for the throne." You know what I'm saying? By bloodline, this is what I was supposed to do. So let me fight for it. He beat T'Challa, put T'Challa on a cross. I don't know if you've seen that on the
Yeah, I watched it tonight.
Yeah, he put him across his shoulder,
mm-hmm.
and they formed a cross.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he tossed him over the river or the waterfall,
mm-hmm.
which I think represented the fall of nature. But he represented the revolutionary aspect of nature, of an old way that needed to die.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And T'Challa represented that old way that needed to die. But you know, the Caucasian got to show some saviorism in there. He got to prolong the cycle a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the savior aspect had to come in. But Killmonger represented revolution, because guess what? He wanted to get up on that throne and murder those that committed these crimes, which is what? Which is karma.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? These people have a karmic debt that needs to be paid. Mm-hmm. In all religious books, even in Noon Science, it speaks about karma. He doesn't use the word karma, but it's known that those that have committed crimes, it will be balanced off by nature. Karma is a balancing. I probably don't even have to look up the definition, but I know that karma represents balance, because whatever is being done has to be balanced off. That's what karma represents, balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or the ma'at, or whatever you want to call it, the scales of justice. I don't care what you want to call it. That's what it represents. It represents the karma that's going to take place, and the Black Panther prolonged that process.
Right. And like I said, I watched a lot of different people talk about it, and they flawed Killmonger's character by making him he was too extreme, and he disrespected
the elders.
You know what Wakanda stood for as far as the tradition. Like when it came to the part about the purple flowers, mm-hmm. and he told them to burn it, and she told them that this is for, you know, when the next king comes. And so that part was not logical, because if he died and you destroyed all of the herbs, then nobody can continue. So therefore, if something happened to him, the whole country would have been gone after that. Mm-hmm. So that's the part I didn't like, how they done that. And he felt bad because his father got killed, and he felt like he lost everything. So he was still immature as as a ruler. And he was, you know, they showed the immaturity and the disrespect. He disrespected the elders. He put his hand around a black woman's neck and held her up. That was highly disrespectful. He killed his, you know, he killed the character, what his name, Forrest Whitaker played.
Yeah.
And then he even said he killed his own people to get there. So it was like,
killed this woman.
Right. So that showed that he wouldn't have. That's the part that you know, those things that was negative, they was over negative, and he was doing all that he could. Again, he played religiously. He was Cain, because the way the Bible is written, Cain went out from the face of the Lord and just started murking, and all his descendants was murking too. So. And then, like you said, you had the waterfall, which is like a flood and all of that. So it was biblical around the whole thing. It's like I said, they just moved certain events around. And like you said, they created a good son and a bad son. And them going at it with each other. And this is something too that I thought about. Even though people fight, that's a reality. But since we talk about movies, you know, and in this fictitious world, I immediately thought about, somebody said online that, and I think it was Yvette, that she kicks it with Tone Talks, her and Dr. Boyce Watkins that fell out. But I think she made a good comment when she said that T'Challa took Killmonger out, but he went to share the weapons with the real killers around the world. And that right there was also showing that we have no real reasonability to work things out. And they were saying that him and Killmonger should have been able to work that out. And I put that in contrast to Thor and Loki, because Loki and Thor wasn't even kin. One was Asgardian, the other was from the Frost Giants, and Loki was constantly trying to destroy and usurp the throne, and him and Thor always worked through it. And what Thor and them did was way worse in comparison to what Killmonger went through. But yet those two worked it out and still call each other brothers, and they ain't kin in no degree.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows you that how can, when you look at the damage done, you know, side by side, you know, Loki tried to kill their father. He set the whole land to get ransacked. I mean, it's multiple things that Loki did, and they still worked through it. And so when you look at it like that, and that's what they was looking at too, like, damn, black people still can't make it happen no matter what. That's what I got out of that. But you're right, Killmonger definitely represented revolution, which is what he was talking about. They just gave him a little bit too much extremity in that, because he talked like a revolutionary, but it would have, you know, it just wouldn't have did a good thing if they played it out the way he wanted to play it out. But we know that, like you said, they did it in such a way to grab our attention, because a part of us is trying to wake up and just go for self and kind. And so what they did was they did an all black cast, which is pretty much like they did in the 70s, except they just didn't put in the exploitation and the cooning like they did back in the 70s. But an all black cast is, like they said, they went from white Jesus. And when we start waking up from that, then Jesus' skin color started getting darker and darker, just so they can prolong the spell. And so in the movies, it's the same thing. That's all I wanted to add on about that before we move on. If you had something to add on, I had something to throw in to take this on through. What you had up next?
Nah, I found it also interesting that they were worshiping Bastet or Bass, which is the feline deity from Africa. And Bastet is known to be a protector of the house, or basically of Ra. And did this particular feline deity is she goes by the title Lady of the Flame, and she's also holding an ankh, and she had her cults in Africa as well. So they mixed pantheism in there, which is a segue to religion. So this is something that we have to understand as African people, that they will mix pantheism in there, which is the father and mother of religion. And if they can't get you through religion, they're gonna do what? They're gonna take one step backwards, which is get you with pantheism. Because they understand that some of us gonna wake up, but some of us gonna retract, or we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna go further backwards, which is to pantheism. So it's no different with them worshiping Bastet and still playing religious roles. And then they're adding in the animals and the animal nature and things of that nature. So we have to be very, very careful when dealing with this Caucasian, because he'll throw the kitchen sink at you to keep you asleep. Because as soon as we wake up, this whole thing is over. So that's just basically what I wanted to add in there, was that Bastet was the deity that they were worshiping at that particular time. So I don't know what you want to add on, or you want to.
Yeah, I want to take it to the next level. Because we're going to move on. So, and this is the other part of it too, because they need to understand that. So now we know that the panther is a leopard, different colors. We know that Wakanda is the great spirit that's parts of thirst. We know that that's also symbolic of sex, energy, water, all these different things like that. And that black folks can't seem to get enough of it. We know that the Panthers, their mating rituals, is hit it and quit it. And that's pretty much what's happening right now.
Oh, before you get into that, let me just show them real quick. Bastet. I don't want to just leave them just like that dry. You can see that real quick. All right. And what's interesting to notice is what? She's a goddess of what? Warfare. She's the lioness and deity of what? Warfare. And I'm not saying that warfare is a bad thing, because we're going to have to, at some point in time, shed blood for our race if it's doable, if it's even. I'm not one of those people that's going to say, oh, no, just sit back and kumbaya. No, at some point in time, if things are even, then we should go for it. But we should not be walking into bullets blindly. It's not supposed to be, in that particular sense. So we'll get all riled up and thinking we Black Panthers and jump out there and do a bunch of crazy stuff and get killed. And we'll be sacrificial lambs for these people. So I wouldn't want us to go out there and do anything of that nature. But it's very important to keep in mind that this particular deity, Bastet, is a goddess of war. This is her right here, the feline goddess. Is also spelled Bast, Bast, and you could interchangeable sometimes with a lot of these letters. Bast can also be beast if you look in there.
Angela Bassett.
That's right. That's why they use Bass. There you go. These things are not done, you know, by coincidence. They're doing these things on purpose. The ancient Egyptians would most often name towns in honor of their gods. The town of what's that? Baal Bastis was named in honor of Bastet and even had a cult of her own. The daughter of the sun god Ra-Re. Bastet is holding a sistrum in one hand and an ankh, the key of life in another. She has the face of a cat and a cobra head of a goddess, Wajet, on her crown. And this is her in the Meta Netra right here. Lioness of War. All right. I just wanted you guys just to see her in case the movie didn't really show, you know, this particular deity. Consort of Ptah. So she played both sides of the fence. She was considered to be a consort of Ptah, and then later on, Anubis, the jackal-headed god and protector of the dead, mummification, was also a consort of Bastet. So you can see she played both sides of the fence. This is very interesting to notice. The occupation of Egypt during the Ptolemaic dynasty from 305 BCE to 30 BCE witnessed the transformation of Bastet into a lunar deity from a solar goddess, who was also the daughter of Re and the sun god. So from here we see that you understand what I'm saying? In the Ptolemaic dynasty. So instead of her being a solar deity, she turned into a lunar deity. And this is basically all the deities. They usually transform and become lunar deities, which means they become even more dead.
Mm-hmm.
The goddess Bastet was often shown with the face of a lioness many centuries later, symbolizing the ferocity and warrior-like demeanor that lay hidden beneath the protective traits of this goddess. So it was thought wise to keep her appeased and not anger her in any manner. All right, so there you go. The Egyptian goddess Bast or Bastet. So I know you probably was preparing in the wings. So I'm going to end this screen sharing so you could do your thizzle. You ready?
Yeah, so this here is going to put a little bit more clarity on and supporting what you said earlier about this whole thing being religious, and that people don't realize that those who claim they didn't escape the handcuffs of religion and different names indeed went from one form of it to another. So a lot of them is probably saying, you know, what the hell are we talking about? And I can hear some of the Wapi, and especially Earl, talking about references. Y'all just making up stuff. And they some of the biggest Jesus followers that there is. So we're going to show y'all how all this lines up back into religion. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me know that if you can see it.
With Yeshu and Jesus in the Talmud.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just as soon as you stop talking, it should fly back up there.
I think it stayed up there.
Okay. All right. Now, if you look at this right here, Jesus in the Talmud, Wikipedia, it says jump to what? The son of Pantera / Pandera in the healing text. The Talmud contains passages that some scholars have concluded are references to Christian traditions about Jesus. The history of textual transmission of these passages is too complex, and scholars are not agreed concerning which passages are originals. So I'm going to click on this where it says son of Pantera. All right, so we'll start up here. 2 Talmudic era texts that explicitly associate Jesus as the son of Pantera. You can see the word Panther. All you got to do is throw an H in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now you got Pandera. You can find it in the book of Tosefta Hulin 2:21. Jacob came to heal in the name of Jesus, son of Pantera. You can go to the Jewish book, the Kohelet Rabbah, verse 1:8. Jacob came to heal in the name of Jesus, son of Pandera. Both of the above passages describing situations where Jesus' name is invoked to perform magical healing. Isn't that what they did with the Panther? He drank that magical potion. Let's keep it going. In addition, some editions of the Jerusalem Talmud explicitly identify Jesus as the son of Pandera. Jerusalem, Abodah Zarah 2:2, verse 7. Someone whispered to him in the name of Jesus, son of Pandera. These are just all of the quotes where you'll see where it says Jesus Pandera, but we're going to go into it a little bit more. I'm just giving you the Caucasians or the Jewish part of it, and then we're going to give you the actual truth of this situation. But I just want y'all to see that this whole thing is definitely found in religion. And this place is the Talmud, which takes you into Judaism, which is before Christianity. All right. So now y'all run into an African so-called movie, but it's really Judaism.
And we know who controls Hollywood.
Damn right. So you already got pimp. You engaged the Jew some more of your money. But let's keep going. It said other Talmudic narratives describe Jesus as the son of Pantiri or Pandera in a teaching context. All right, we go down a little bit more further. This is the part this is why a lot of the Christians who read the Talmud get into it with the Jews. It says Pandera and alleged adultery by Mary. The Babylonian Talmud contains narratives that discuss an anonymous person who brought witchcraft out of Egypt, and the person is identified as son of Pandera or the son of Stata. The Talmud discusses whether the individual with the name Jesus is not present in these passages is the son of Stata, or Pandera, and a suggestion is made that the mother Mary committed adultery. Babylonian Shabbat 104b said, was he the son of Stara and not the son of Pandera? Editions of MSS Oxford 23. Another one said in the Sanhedrin 67a, was he the son of Stara and not the son of Pandera? So if you go and read down further, it said Mary is the mother. It said there was no Talmudic text that directly associated Jesus with Mary or Mary. Instead of the association is indirect. Jesus is associated with a father, the son of Pandera, and in other passages, Pandera is associated with Mary as her lover. Again, as you can see here, it's back to what? Sex. Not only sex, incest, and witchcraft. So now you got other components in this. So now this is one of the things, and this whole thing is coded because the Jews knew exactly who they was talking about, which we're going to get into who they really was talking about. Okay, but what y'all need to equal stand is that Panther and Pandera, Pantera, Pantiri all of these different things is about a person that was a religious figure. Okay, so this is what we just want to establish that, and that's why in the story in the New Testament they talk about one of the Marys was a whore, and that's the one they wanted to stone, and Jesus didn't let them stone her, and told that's what the famous quote, "He without sin cast the first stone," and this is the same one they said wiped Jesus' feet with her hair and tears. So this is just different little things, and this stuff came way after this story here. This existed way before the New Testament and all of that. So we just want y'all to equal stand that this is by no means the Black Panther indeed was not something they just pulled out a comic book. That's a lie too. So you understand that. All right? That's another lie. They say things, you know that they lie. They lie so much, but they have different ways to do it. Even comic books are religious. But people don't know that. What they did is just like taking the Bible or the Quran or some book, and you making countless stories out of each page. And that's what a comic book series is when they make all these different these comic book characters. If you do some research, you'll find that it's going to go back to some reality. Like, for instance, Galactus from the Silver Surfer comic books. When you do research on the home world of Galactus, who they claim is a planet eater because he was in some type of accident with his race of people, and he was the last one out the explosion, and he ended up with this insatiable appetite that he had to eat whole planets to quell his hunger. When you go into the origin of where he come from, they say the planet that this giant planet-eating Caucasian comes from the planet called Tar. So we know that's foolishness in itself, because again, they use what's in reality to warp reality to create all these different things, and people have become so galvanized by them that they just can't get over them, and they really believe that this stuff exists. But Galactus represent the white race who done damn near ate the whole planet up out of his resources. If you look at his businesses and you look at the things that he's doing, he's raping every continent there is. They are Galactus in that comic book because they're greedy. It's called capitalism. It's nothing hard about that. But let's go on into the next stage. So now we know that there was a man, according to the Jewish writings, was a man called the son of Panthera or Pandera or Pantiri. All right?
Sound like panties, panty.
All right, let me bring this one out. Where is it?
That was good. That was great. Rather.
I had to. Okay, this is part 2. Let me go to part 1. Hold on.
We're gonna get this thirsty thing going again.
Yeah, they gotta be made known what they're looking at. All right, let me share the screen again. Can you see it? All right, this is coming out of Bible Interpretation and Explanations, Book 1, written by Afro Uno as Abanubi Rakata. And we're going to go into who Esau was. All right, so we're going to click in here. And you got Esau and Jacob, but we're going to go a little further, because Esau in the Bible interpretation is actually representation of the Phoenician race. And the way the Bible was written, they took a bunch of people and they would, do name plurality or name singularity, or they'll take a group of people and smash them into one individual. And that's how they kept up with their mysteries and things like that. So now we finna go down further, all right? So it says here, we're going to go a little bit into Jesus. It said, who was Jesus by race and religion? The religion of Jesus, Ptolemy, the 14th, Caesarion, Little Caesar, was Egyptian planet theism. which is the worship of planets and satellites. That's just what we call pantheism, because really the original gods or the ancients are the orbs themselves. And it said he was a hybrid by race. The African pygmies who existed before the Great Flood 18 million years ago, their spiritual science was called Sabiism, pronounced Sabiism. Sabiism, which is true star worship or honor, is a part of Noon, the original spiritual science. This is the edited version that we did. I just pulled this one up, but you can get the original version. I'm just reading this one because it's going into what we're talking about. It says, is a part of Noon, the original spiritual science of all woolly-haired people. After the flood 18 million years ago, Noon as Sabiism, the true star worship honor, gradually waned on the Wapu after 6,000 years into evolution, and the worship of planets and satellites gradually waxed. After the moon cycle began with the Adam and Eve group, or planetheism or pantheism waned, and religion, primary worship of moons, for the last 6,000 years of evolution waxed. Jesus was the last legal heir to the Egyptian throne, St. Matthew 2nd chapter 15 verse. He was the son of a Roman military man of high rank and a black Phoenician queen of Egypt who was unmarried, St. John 8 chapter 14 verse 34. As stated earlier in this booklet, later day rulers of Egypt were Phoenician, and they were called Hebrew before the Jews were. Jesus was next in line to become king of the Hebrews because his mother was queen and he was the oldest child. Jesus' mother ruled Egypt before the year 25 BC. So this is giving y'all a time zone here where a lot of people are trying to say Jesus existed after that and he died 33 AD and all this stuff. This is not the correct term or time. Ptolemy, Caesarion, that's who you need to go look up to get your whole Jesus thing fixed. They're showing you that the Caucasian know very well who the real Jesus was, and it's right online. You can go find it. That was the son that Cleopatra was behind. And when her ruling days were over, Jesus, which is talking about Ptolemy or Caesarion, was supposed to ascend to the throne of Egypt, but the Jews and Romans were controlling Egypt at that time and would not allow Jesus to take the throne. And of course, Jesus became very angry at the Jews and Romans. One reason the Jews and Romans did not want Jesus to become king, because Jesus was critical of their control over Egypt and their domination and oppression of the Phoenicians. This is similar to the Killmonger and T'Challa situation. Jesus became a neophyte and attended a school of Egyptian mysteries. So in this case, Killmonger became part of the military, the deadly parts of it, and learned how to become a killer.
That's right.
All right. He attended the school of the Egyptian mysteries called the Pyramid, and the same type of school that Moses, Thutmose the First, had attended. During his attendance there, he became illuminated. That is, possessed by powerful spirit forces. In other words, Jesus became an incarnation of the sun god Ilion and the moon god Thoth, sometimes called Hermes, Trismegistus, male spirit forces of the moon. The man himself was called Esau Panthera. Esau is the same as Jesu or Jesus. And then when it was online, you seen the word Yeshu. They just use the Y because there's no J's in the in what they call in Aramaic or Hebrew. Okay, and Panther refers to the Great Sphinx at Giza, Egypt, which has the body of what? A huge cat and the head of a king. So now you're looking at the panther as far as in Egypt is concerned. That's where it's at. And don't run around, you crazy people of ours, talking about Egypt is Wakanda. That's not what we're saying. Please. All right. Jesus was the incarnation of the same God that Melchizedek was, and this is why it was written Jesus was a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Genesis 14, chapter 18 and 19 verses, John 8, chapter 56 verse, 56 verse, Hebrews 6 chapter in the 20th verse, and Hebrews 7 chapter. Melchizedek was a king, priest, and the incarnation of the gods Elyon and Hermes. The moon is same as Anu and Sin. And just to let you know, again, it's similar because that's exactly what is taking place when they are drinking this liquid of the vibranium and they become more powerful. That's similar to being incarnated by a spirit God. And that's exactly what it was. And since they are, and it don't make no sense because they say a meteor fell from out the sky. It doesn't make it appear that some kind of way the goddess Basset had anything to do with it. But if we just assume it does, and the fact they have to drink the liquid and then they become possessed with the cat god, which we know is a sex force and a warring spirit, and they competing, and we can only imagine what that purple liquid really is. All right. When the Romans and Jews who were ruling, who were controlling Egypt, refused to allow Jesus to take the throne of Egypt, he turned evangelist and went from place to place in Africa and Asia and wherever Phoenicians could be found. Phoenicians are not Africans, okay? We're not talking, these are not us. These are straight-haired, dark-skinned people that invaded Egypt right 3000 BC and could be found telling them that he was their king, sent to gather them together in unity so they could regain their power in Egypt. This is the same thing that Killmonger was saying, that he was the new king and that he was going to gather the power from Wakanda, and they was going to go and get the old rulership back. For the Phoenicians had been scattered by the cruel oppression and brutal suppression of the Romans and Jews and other Greeks. All these are Caucasian people, because he taught the Phoenicians that he was their king. And this is why it is written that just before they killed Jesus, they mocked him with a crown of thorns and with a sign reading, Esau, king of the Hebrews, meaning the Phoenicians. The name Ammon is Egyptian. Revelation 3rd chapter 14 verse, another name for the planet Jupiter. Most of the Phoenicians rejected Jesus. One reason because his father was not Phoenician. This is the same thing like Killmonger. His father was not allowed to come back into Wakanda. He felt that he taught his son that he wanted me to come back, like he said, because he fell in love with a black female from America. So that's showing racism in their own country. Why would you do that? All right. And this is some even plotted against him with the Romans and Jews, because although Jesus did not specifically know it, the spirit forces within the possessed him had Jesus scheduled to be put to death to save the Caucasian for another 2,000 years. Let me add also that with in the movie and in the cartoons, they was plotting on T'Challa's father and T'Challa to come into Wakanda and take the resources. So all this is just similar stuff. Jesus scheduled to be put to death to save the Caucasians for another 2,000 years. And this is why the spirit force of Jesus gave him the power to attract people and do works and say words that would either anger the Romans and Jews to the point of killing him. Contrary to the interpolation put in the Bible later that Jesus knew he was going to be killed, is the fact that Jesus was deceived by the spirit force within him until he was actually being put to death. And evidence of this is the fact it is written that Jesus said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, St. Matthew 27, chapter 46, verse, translated, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Let me go to the other one. Book 2. I'm almost done. Okay, give me a second. You still there?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, I'm going to book 2. It's coming from Bible Interpretation booklet too. It said, who were the physical father and mother of Jesus? Esau, Panther. Where was he killed and what happened to his body? As stated in booklet 1 called Bible Interpretation and Explanations, the mother of Jesus was a black Phoenician queen of Egypt who had children but was unmarried. And this fact made it easier for Caucasians to state that Jesus had no human father. It's the same thing as the Panthers. They mate, get pregnant, father breaks out. All right. Yet the physical father of Jesus was a high-ranking Roman soldier, a general who was one of the Roman triumvirate. The mother of Jesus was Cleopatra. You want to say
and what you call it? Remember what you call it was a high ranking spy.
right? The Killmonger's father.
They interchanging with Killmonger and T'Challa as being Jesus.
Right.
It's like two Jesuses in one.
And they had, I think, 3 Jesuses in the New Testament. You had Jesus the Christ, Simon Bar Jesus, and Cleophas. No, Jesus Justice. So you had 3 Jesus in the New Testament as well. So, like you said, they interchange in all of this. He said the mother of Jesus was Cleopatra, of well-known but notorious personage, and his father was Marcus Antonius, better known as Mark Antony.
Just like Angela Bassett, she was the mother of T'Challa.
The stepmother. And it's so funny. I was telling my wife that when you watch some of the clips during the fight scene, in the after, the behind the scenes, she hugs Chad. And she grabs his face and kisses him on the mouth as well. So I'm like, look at this foolishness. So, okay. And they said his father was Marcus Antonius, better known as Mark Antony. Antony was a warmonger. All Caucasians are personification of ghosts because they were bleached ghost eyes by Leviathan using the ghost process when they were being extracted from the Phoenician and East Indian peoples. Therefore, Mark Antony, being Caucasian, was ghost in person. Hence, when he impregnated Cleopatra, the ghost had overshadowed Mary, Cleopatra. St. Matthew 1st chapter 18 through the 20th verses. Cleopatra was neither Roman nor Greek like the Caucasian history pretends. She was a Phoenician East Indian type woman. We must understand that Caucasian history lies falsely and ironically written to hide facts, mislead, and deceive. Although the Phoenicians were well scattered and powerful by 300 BC by the Romans and Jews and other Greeks who were controlling Egypt, allowed figure-headed puppet kings and queens of Phoenician ancestry to continue to sit on the throne of Egypt until Jesus was rejected as king. Same thing as Killmonger. He got rejected.
That's right.
Same way Caucasians set up and controlled parrot rulers and puppet governments in these times, they did the same in those times until revolutionary forces moved in and moved them out. After Jesus was denied the throne of Egypt by the Roman and Jews and failed in his attempt to rally the Phoenicians or the Wakandans to unity and power as it once were, he was apprehended in Egypt, in Wakanda, and charged with trying to overthrow the puppet government of Wakanda, which is Egypt, found guilty and put to death atop of a pyramid at Giza, Egypt. And from this event comes the expression X marked the spot. So there go your Wakanda right there.
Let's go. There go your ass.
On the top of Giza. That's what X at. So y'all been played. Y'all done gave $1 billion for an old ass story. Y'all been pimped. And this is the spot of the death and burial for Jesus. But the Catholics got his body. Duke can tell you about where he really got the body at. Because it's too much mess going on. All right. It was written that Jesus was put to death at a place called Golgotha. And Golgotha means place, mound, or mountain.
Waterfall.
That
waterfall.
The Great Pyramid at Giza, Egypt is a sepulcher. That is a place and mount of the dead. It is also written that Jesus died on the cross. The pyramid is the cross that represents the astronomical symbol, power symbol of planet Earth, which is a cross and a circle. Because the 4 triangles of the pyramid form the cross that looks like the plus sign. When viewing the pyramid from a position above the pyramid. So when the Romans and Jews and other Greeks put Jesus to death upon a pyramid, they put him to death upon the cross. What happened to the body of Jesus is the same that happened to all the bodies of all the Phoenicians or the Wakandan Black Panther kings. Egyptian pharaohs before Jesus. The bodies of all the Phoenician pharaohs were mummified, including the body of the pharaoh called Jesus. That is Esau, Panther. After the mummification process, the body of Jesus laid to rest in the Great Pyramid at Giza, Egypt. Therefore, the original sepulcher of Jesus is the Great Pyramid, which was erected for burial of kings and storing of riches for imparting of knowledge and symbol of power of the dead of the earth since the original entombment of Jesus into the great pyramid of Giza, Egypt. His body was moved to various places on concealment, like the crypt of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, for the benefit of perpetuation of Christianity.
Right above, right on top of it too, in that ball. I forgot what that ball is called, but they got his body right in that ball, his ashes.
Yep. Yeah, even if someone will put the body of Jesus on public view after 2,000 years and call it Jesus or someone else well known at that time, by what means after so many years would anyone prove or disprove it? Therefore, the Caucasian taking full advantage of antiquity by hiding facts so that the lapse of time was sealed, because, of course, no one living now lived at that time except in the person of our ancestors who have been dead centuries again. So, again, what we're doing now is just showing y'all in a funny kind of way that Egypt would be considered Wakanda in certain places as far as what they're trying to do. And the X marked the spot, the death of Jesus, which is, you know, again, they interchanging these stories in certain kind of way, but I know y'all see it. I know you can see that the Panthers is the Sphinx. Them throwing the X over their chest just mean that they dead, they mentally dead, and they don't see it. And everybody ran to that movie back to back like you run the church. And that's pretty much what happened. Marvel Comics is y'all church. And
like
y'all gave them
that's a big ass collection plate that they got right there, boy.
Right.
Because right after the pastor give the sermon, which is y'all right after y'all got entertained, y'all threw all the money in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
They threw all the money in the pot.
If you wanted to throw some in there, can go ahead, because I got the whole Jesus thing. That they thought that was bad. They really finna be upset.
All right, I'm about to do a little bit more. Hold on real quick. Give me 1 second. Hangouts. Let me see if my thing gonna pop up. But that was great, man. The Bible interpretation is still a great book, man. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even funny. Still relevant till this day.
Yep.
All right, you can see it. Habitat.
Mm-hmm.
More of the thirst going on. We gonna keep going at the thirst. Some spirit beings gonna hate us after this. All right, we're gonna go down to this particular line right here, where it says water is essential. Water is an essential element to a panther and its prey. You will find plenty of it in the swamps. Not only will it panther draw in other animals who also need and wish to use its environment. Some animals make the water their home. Panthers have been known to eat alligators, our top predator in deep swamp. So we see how powerful a panther is. A panther has been known to eat alligators. You see this? Look, this is the thirst of the panther. This is the power of the panther. The panther is able to kill the top predator in the water. What else does water give life to? Vegetation. Not only does this vegetation become food for animals like deer, the panther preferred prey. It also provides cover. Cover is a panther's best friend. Panthers are not chasers running after and wearing down their quarry. They are ambush predators using stealth and strength to catch their meal. This is not the characteristics of an African. This sounds like the characteristics of a Caucasian. Ambushing, using stealth and secrecy, things like that. This is the what you call it? This is the behavior of a Caucasian. If you're reading this stuff, this has nothing to do about the African. I'm gonna move on from this. And after this, I'm gonna jump into the vibranium. Unless you want to say something before I get into that.
No, go ahead, do your thug thizzle.
All right. This is going to be very, very small. Hold on. And this is just going to be a nice little intro real quick into... Oh, wait. All right. This is small. You guys probably won't, see too much of it. All right. So you guys see that right there?
Yeah.
You see me typing?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. So we can see the word vibranium right here, right? So we know that VI, right, means 6 in the Roman in the Roman numerals. The V is 5 and the I is 1, which is 6. Brain, as you can see right here, is one of the words in vibranium, which is mind, because the brain produces mind energy. So 6 mind, and the word "ium" means a forming of a metal. Forming of a metal or element. All right. Let's go to, where is it? There we go. Screen share real quick, so you guys can see what ium is. You see ium right here on the screen. Indicating a metallic element. All right. So this particular vibranium, if you break it down, you'll see that vibranium means 6 forming, six mind forming. And when he takes this vibranium, what does he turn into? He turned into an animal. 6 means sex and also represent the zoop in what you call it, in noon. So we could go to the books real quick, and I'll show you guys, real quick what Zupu is. All right. Real quick. Yeah, this is good stuff you guys are getting right here. You ain't gonna get this on any other channel, man. All right. See? The reasons of nature. Listen to reason. 9 ether and 9 reason Nupu. Nous is the first emanation or the primary creator for the one supreme being, eternal, infinite, unique, almighty nature, almighty absolute nature. And 6 reason and 6 ether Zupu, Zeus, is the second emanation, the secondary evolution creator, who is the old logos by occult writers and philosophers of mythology and theology. Nous and Zeus are opposites of by nature and in nature. All right. So I just wanted you guys, let me keep reading. And omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient nature alternates their existences, meaning half of the time the universes of nature and the persons and things therein are ruled and controlled by 6 ether and 6 reason, known as Zupu. The other half of time, every 36 million years, the universes and their offsprings are ruled and controlled by 9 ether and 9 reason, known as Nupu, the original prime mover and originator of universe order. That is the universes and the original persons and things thereof. 9 reason Nupu is also the mental resurrector of dead minds, those knowing not the true knowledge of nature and its laws. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. So we could see here that the Zoop is the animal zone. Let me see if I can pull that up. This is talking about the non-animal zone, but we in the animal zone right now, which is the Zoop. All right, we could get to that another time, but basically that's what I wanted to show you guys what vibranium is. Vibranium is basically basically 6 ether. And it's even worse now because it's a representation of ghost. Because 6 ether makes ghosts.
Tribranium.
You understand what I'm saying? So
you heard me?
You said what?
It should be called Tribranium now.
Word. So you guys can see it again. That's what it is. 6 mind forming. All right. And even in the movie, they're giving you pantheism in a religious aspect when they're telling you that they're reaching out to the goddess Bastet, which is really the god of war or the goddess of war. All right. So vibranium, as you now see it, means 6 mind forming, metal or element. All right. So you could jump in or whatever, what it is you want to jump into, Ken.
All right. Let's take it down through the religion. Let's give it to them so they can see what we're talking about. So now we know that Black Panther is Jesus.
In two aspects.
Right. 2 types of Jesus.
Yeah, it's like you said, Simon Bar Jesus and then the other Jesus.
So you got your Jesus stuff going on. You got your cat.
A double dosage.
Yeah, they done hit them up so hard. That's why they don't
double dose.
Then got hit with the T'Challa ghost.
You got double Jesus.
It's
crazy.
And the Cain and Abel. All right, now we got this picture right here. Hold on. Hold on. You see that?
Hold on. Yeah.
All right, it ain't gonna show until we start talking. All right. It says instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and water. So this part of it, which is in John 19:34, where it talks about Jesus being on the cross and he got pierced in his side.
All
right, let me get rid of that one.
This is getting spooky.
Now, if you remember this part in the movie, when he fought M'Baku, he got stabbed in the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
with a spear.
Crazy.
That's your Jesus thing going on now. We gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. Y'all still ain't convinced y'all went and watched the religious movie? Yeah, all right. All right, let me go to the next one.
With him with the spear?
Yeah. So you can see if you watch the movie when T'Challa fought Killmonger also stabbed him in the side with
That's
a
right.
spear. So they go your Jesus references with that right there. And you can see him in the water getting baptized. So now he playing John the Baptist and Jesus fighting instead of baptizing. He got baptized when he threw his ass over the waterfall. He went all the way in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So you got John the Baptist and Jesus going at it. Religion. All right, let me go to the next one. Let's see here. All right, when he threw him over the side, right? It said M'Baku found him.
Mm-hmm.
And M'Baku said one of M'Baku's fishermen found Jesus. Now, my bad. I meant to say T'Challa. Oh my goodness. To Jesus. He found his body. A fisherman found him and brought his body to him. And if you look here in the New Testament, Matthew 4:18, it says Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee. He saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew, and they were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. So this was a little different. So instead of them coming to, being fishermen and, Jesus see them on the shore, they actually find Jesus on the shore being found by a fisherman because he was thrown over the waterfall because he made John the Baptist mad. And he got beat. He just threw him over the side. So you can still see the fishermen here. And like I said, for those who haven't seen, go back and watch it when M'Baku tells them about they found T'Challa, that one of his fishermen found him and brought him. All right. We're going to the next one. It said, where did M'Baku live at?
In the mountains.
All right. So he lived in the mountains. All right. It says right here in Matthew 14:23, and after he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone. So that's where they found T'Challa at. He was in the mountains with the Monkey King. And it was at night. When he got up there and sat down, by the time they went to see him, it was at night because they had to figure out a plan. All right, so now we got that out the way. Let me go to the next one. So I already know they gotta see the foolishness. All right, when they got T'Challa, when Angela, his mother Ramonda.
We should title this Black Panther or Jesus.
I don't know, right?
And put question mark.
So in the picture it shows that when they found him, his mother made the liquid stuff to give to him. I'm trying to wait for it to show. Is it showing? Oh, okay. Yeah, so she made the liquid because he's near death. So she made the liquid and poured it into his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And he's laying on the
ice.
On the ice. So she's pouring that into his mouth while he's near death.
And that's supposed to save his life. And the resurrection.
Now, when you go to the Bible,
I see thirst part 2.
Yeah, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
For those who've seen the movie and read the Bible, they had a part where Jesus, according to the Bible, was on the cross about to die. He said, I was thirsty. So they took some hyssop, stuck the spear in it, and put it up to his mouth, and he said, I thirst. He drunk it, then he supposedly gave up the ghost. So here you see Jesus in Wakanda, dead, still drinking something, but it's cold. Instead of being hot on a cross, how they had this Jesus, they had the black Jesus laying on some ice, drinking some purple stuff.
like
drinking some syrup, some lean.
Scissor.
Ridiculous. He was sipping on some syrup. Dang. Ridiculous. Now, let's look at who showed up to where he was. Now, let's look at this. Okay.
Did the women surrounding him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can see his stepmother, because according to the comics and all that stuff, this is really I think this is Storm's mother from the X-Men, but she's not T'Challa's real mother. So that show you, just like they said with the mating, the parent don't stick around. So they made it where the mother didn't stick around.
And his pops ain't stick around.
And his pops is always gone too. And then you got the sister and the other girl, Lupita, I think that's her name, is the love interest. So you got 3 women around this man that's damn near dead. I'm gonna show you a better picture of it, just so you can see who it is, so you can get a better picture of them.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even talk about the damn white man and savior.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you see the picture of the 3 women. So I just want to make sure people can see that. These are the same 3 women. They on their way up there to ask M'Baku for help. So now you got 3 women around the dead man. Now you see, according to the Bible, it was 3 women at the tomb of Jesus. You see the angel outside. They said when they went to the tomb and Jesus wasn't there, then they looked and seen the angel outside. So here you go again. You got 3 women that came to they changed it again. They didn't know that T'Challa Jesus was in there on ice waiting for the lean. And these 3 women didn't know Jesus' tomb was going to be empty according to one of the gospels, because it's all contradicting each other. These 3 women went and didn't find the body there, and there was an angel there. So in this case, we know that the
angel, that white boy,
right? And they interchanging the angel with M'Baku, because M'Baku is the one who had the body. And this, so they interchanging the white man and M'Baku depending on which gospel you want to read.
They giving you all kind of dosage from everywhere,
right?
Every angle. They don't want you to miss nothing,
right? So this just showing you that everybody who talked about the Black Panther was wrong. Ain't that something? Y'all should really think about that. Take this here and go compare it to all the other stuff you heard that's talking about it for what it really is, which is religion. Because y'all got to remember the Caucasians' power is the Bible.
That's right.
And he uses everything in there as always Jesus related, like Thor. Thor is Jesus. So is Superman. All of his characters are saviors. They always come back to that. It always come back to that. Let me see if I got something else. Let's see.
Damn, I'm mad we skipped over this white boy.
We can always go back to him.
Yeah, we'll go back to him another day.
All right.
They got a lot though with this one.
And look at your girl. Look at the shirt. This girl.
Such a beautiful black woman. This is crazy, man.
Look at that shit. The Black Panther and Jesus at the bottom of the shirt. So she knew what it was. More proof. Y'all got played.
Yep.
Y'all got played hard. Thought you escaped the preacher and still went to the original. You went right to the one that made the religion. Benefited from it. Now look at her. Look at black as she is. Got beautiful. Jesus.
Oh, man.
Look at that. Jesus Pantera. Jesus Pandera. Jesus Pantiri.
Jesus
Pantera.
Jesus Panty.
That's it. All of that was ridiculous. So now you should y'all got to go back to the drawing board. We helping y'all out. Every movie they put out is Jesus related. They don't give you nothing else. Even if, and also the word hero in Heru, which is for Horus, it's the same thing. They constantly make Jesus compares to Horus. So y'all watching superhero, you still watching super Jesus.
Is that a cross in the Jesus name on her shirt? In the U?
Yeah, sure is.
Oh man. With 2 Z's right next to it.
Dead. So you ain't throw your arms across and make that, just throw the cross on. So that's pretty much my presentation. I mean, as far as that goes, I got some more stuff, but I gotta, eventually I gotta get up. I got some stuff. Oh yeah. Let me throw this up here real quick.
All right. Yeah, I'm done for the night too. But yeah, you could just end it off. But this was powerful, man.
Now the name that the guy that killed T'Challa's father name was Ulysses Claw, but they named him after Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th president. Look at the beard and the nose.
Oh shoot. Wow.
Killer, murderer.
Wow. Look at that.
And 18 is 666.
Yep.
But we know it's really 333 because 6 ether been gone. But this is showing you what's really taking place here. So African people, wake up. Because they just really tested y'all with this movie to see how deep in the spell and how desperate y'all are to see something, but not in reality. And Noon helps you escape to reality and reason. And the reality is, it's time to get yourself together and wake up. Our people in South Africa is trying to make it happen. And they getting help from the government. So you're not going to get nothing getting done over here unless the government is backing the people the way this government backs its own race of people and give us a little something to keep the deception going. But if you don't have a government backing you, you're wasting your time.
That's right.
And all of the people y'all listening to, all they doing is getting paid off of y'all being partially asleep and partially woke.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that we prove to those who will hear this later on and listening now to know that the spell is still deep. And we hope that this helps a lot of people, you know, when it goes out, because y'all need to know that. You need to know that we really, you know, we made a little fun here and there, but it's a serious situation. And movies are just that. They designed to see where the population is at. And the fact that they put this president in here, do some research on Ulysses S. Grant, and you'll see that he was
I think it was a war general.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was a war general.
Yeah, them presidents back then didn't sit in the office. They went out there on the field. So you talking about the 18 presidents, so you know they was killing they own the Indians and all that other stuff. But do some research, and then you'll see why the character he had in the movie was so extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see the similarity. That right there shows you that was no coincidence. He even got the same big ear. He got a big ear just like the original.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of pose and all. They just got him smiling. But this is what y'all dealing with. So stop saying that the movie is fiction, because it's not. It's based off of reality, but the way they twist it is how you get caught in it. And so I know we're gonna have to do a breakdown of the Infinity Wars, because Black Panther gonna be in that. They don't understand what's really taking place.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we just gonna, you know, do the best we can. That's all I got for tonight. I mean, I got some other stuff where I broke down the names. We can do that on another.
Yeah, the number. Yeah, we're gonna do the numbers on the names and all that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think this was good information for the people. You know, just to, you know, it was powerful information, and they can line this up with any other video that they might have seen that does a breakdown of Black Panther. And by far, this is the most information that they've probably gotten as far as a Black Panther breakdown. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all ain't gonna get this no other place. This is the only place. So make sure that y'all share this video to all your friends and your kins and whoever it is that you feel that can benefit from this, and let them know that we are still in the chains of religion. We're still under the spell very, very strongly. And myself and Tarnoon are just here to help us to, you know, to shake that spell off a little bit. Now we save people and do all that, and we are not here to liberate people, but we can assist in the process, because we can't liberate anybody, and also, you know, another person can't liberate you. You have to liberate yourself. But we are here to assist and to help our race to get the process going a little faster than what's taking place right now. Because we just sit back like other Noonie Boos and just wait for something to happen, like, you know, like we waiting for Jesus to come back, we're no different than religionists. We have to have our hand and a part in the game and helping our race get to the next side. And what we will discuss in the next breakdown is this money thing. We have to discuss how much money we've given to Marvel, to Disney, and how much money we're really making as a race, and how much money we should be generating towards Black business and things like that. We just wanted to deal with the religious aspect of this movie and just a breakdown of what Wakanda means. And it definitely doesn't mean Nawapu. You understand what I'm saying? We had to make sure that we put the Nawapians in their place first before we moved on to other dimensions of the movie. And it was definitely entertaining. It was definitely funny, and I hope that people learned a lot, metaphysically, just by reading this. I mean, I learned some stuff too that I didn't, you know, that I didn't really recognize in there. Like the Ulysses thing, that was a powerful one. You know what I'm saying? The three ladies that was by Jesus' tomb, you know, was also the three ladies by him, you know, laying on the ice. That was a great comparison by Tarnoon, you know, and you know, me and him, we go back and forth, meaning that we exchange information all the time, and the information that we exchange, you know, we open each other's minds, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help each other open our minds and get to the next level. But stay tuned for part 2 of this Black Panther breakdown, though, because we got to get to the money aspect, because we spending too much money on religion. All right, so we gonna get to that.
All right. Hold on. All right. So if that's it, then we can go ahead and close out. I want to thank everybody from coming out. My wife, Tar, Buna Nupu, Kwipu, Kade Nupu, Anoop Bunu, Nupu. I see Kim is in there, and whoever else is watching. We definitely appreciate y'all for coming out, and definitely spread the video. And we'll be back with another part 2. True Mental Costumes, Peace in Wartime.